What happens in downtown LA? People live in Long Beach or they live in Orange County, I live in Irvine. They live in Irvine and they commute to downtown. What happens after 5 o'clock in downtown? Everybody goes home, except who? Except the poor people who cannot afford to live in Irvine and who cannot commute 100 miles every day. So what happens? You create these pockets of poverty, the inner city problem. So urban sprawl, you said you're studying criminal justice, that's the issue of the social justice also. In addition to environmental justice, is the issue of social justice. That is not sustainable. We have to address the inner city problem somewhere. So the SB 375 started looking at these and said, okay, let's do this. Let's come up with ways to address the climate change, to improve regional sustainability and quality of life, and provide public with more choices, okay? I live in Irvine, and, well, I used to live in Mission View. When I was living in Mission View, my home from my office was 22 miles, and it would take me about 20-25 minutes in the morning, about 40 minutes in the afternoon, depending on what time I would commute, to go back and forth, okay? One time I said, let me try public transit. Do you know how long it would take me the same trip in the morning to go?
8 hours.
2 hours and 15 minutes, yeah. 2 hours and 15 minutes. So who in his right mind, am I stupid? I don't care, if gas is $25 a gallon, I was still not going to spend 2 hours and 15 minutes every day going from A to B, when I can spend 20-25 minutes, maybe half an hour. So, because I didn't have choice. Because the community, because the people, because the way that we did our system planning, we did not give people choices. So the objective of 375 was that let's look at the way that we do the house to work trips are the primary demand on the system, are the primary load on the transportation system. So let's first of all bring these things together. So what we did, we call it Sustainable Community Strategies. I have it in a few slides. SCS. You're going to see them a lot. SCS, Sustainable Community Strategy. They said, okay, counties, you have to come up with Sustainable Community Strategy. As part of Sustainable Community Strategy, the most important element is what we call the Housing Need Assessment, HNAs. They said you have to develop housing need assessments, and you have to say, where are your housing need assessments, and how can you sustain this in the long term? You cannot continue building past bars to and say, hey, I have a plan that's going to work. So SB 375 tried to break the cycle by doing what? They said they started looking at the land uses. They said you can't just have these fake. By the way, how many of you have heard that cities in the United States have what we call general plans? What is a general plan? Would you care to share with us?
I'm a nursing major, so.
No, what major?
I am a nursing major, so I don't really.
Perfect.
No, I don't.
No, then a general plan actually applies to you because there are only certain places you can build a hospital.
For a project, I don't know. For a project, I remembered that I had to review general plan, and it just talked about the improvements that the city could make, and like how. In different areas, like it was like for health and just transportation, and it had like a deadline, to so many years. That's all that I remember.
Perfect. We did not have general plans before 1966. The cities had no clue. Remember public-private? The market was deciding where to build what. If you knew the mayor of Los Angeles, you would give him a little bit of money for his contribution, for his campaign. You would take him on a trip to Hawaii, and he would let you build a mall of 5 million square feet and call it what's the big mall over there in Torrance? There was no general plan. Cities don't have general plan. The last city in the United States that adopted the general plan was 1973, was Houston. Because Texas, it was saying, the heck, it's none of the federal government's damn business how what we do with our land here. But then the federal government had the incentive, remember the issue of federalism? There's so much the President and Congress can do. They cannot come and tell the cities what you have to do with your land. That's another major issue that we're facing in this sustainability challenge that we are facing. The autonomous level of different government. Okay, let me ask you this. How many elected bodies do we have in the United States running this country? Ballpark. Elected bodies, the school board, water board, sanitation board, city council, Congress, houses. How many?
One.
One?
No. How many elected
like you have City of Long Beach, you have a City Council. That's an elected body that makes decisions for certain aspects in the City of Long Beach. But City of Long Beach has also a school district, has also a water district, has also a sanitation district. So how many of these little bodies are making decisions to run this country? Over 50,000. But since you tried for general plan, over 50,000. Now imagine how difficult it is to do any policy, real policy change. It's a maze, it's a very difficult process that you have to learn. I'm not telling you to scare you, I'm telling you to understand. So when you graduate, you get out there, you know what you have to navigate through to really affect change, to make the world better. Hey, I've done my work, you know, in a few years I'm going to retire, I'm going to buy my little cottage in Tuscany, and I'm going to move there. But California is your problem. But those of you who want to live here, no, seriously, you have to know how to fix the system. It's a broken system. And you have to know how it works. So the land uses, the cities have general plan. We came to the cities with SB 375 and said, you have to start having a more realistic approach to your land uses. You have to have what we call job housing balance, so I don't have to commute from San Clemente to downtown LA. You have job housing balance is a big, big, big thing in SB 375. We look at the highways and arterials and said, do we really need to build all of these again? Do we need to get into that vicious cycle or provide increased accessibility or not? Then to travel demand management, you have to do what we call the TDMs, you know, they can be signal timing, they can be round metering, they can be a whole lot of stuff. Better signal coordination, transportation system management, non-motorized transportation system. This was like, for like decades, we completely ignored other modes. We completely ignored pedestrians, bicycles, anything. It's just cars and cars and cars, built for cars. Transit, LA is doing a little bit. And we came up with the issue of pricing. This is the most challenging one. This is a very, very difficult one because it goes back to the issue of equity. Now, we have pricing already on 110 and 10 freeway in LA County. How many of you know that? That we just started 2 months ago. Now, if you're not a carpooler, you can use the carpool lane on the 110, going from 405 to downtown. Right? Have you used it?
Oh, I've seen it though.
Yeah, you can use it. It's going to charge you $4 or $5, but you don't need to be carpoolers. So we price it. We price the congestion. We say, okay, use it. 91 freeway going toward Las Vegas, going toward Riverside. Have you seen that lane over there that they have like these plastic barricades? Do you know how much it costs you? It's 9 miles. Do you know how much it costs you Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. to do that 9 miles?
$6.
$9.75.
I use it
Yeah.
by $6.
Yes, you probably got a discount. But it's just but the pricing is coming. I wouldn't be surprised that by the time you guys are my age, most of the freeways are going to be priced in certain hours. That you can get on 405 as much as you do today. What we call it tolling and all that. Probably it's going to take maybe 30 to 35 years. That's how long it's going to take for you guys to become my age. But the next 30, 35 years, we have realized we cannot sustain the way we are doing. And these are things that SB 375 is trying to address. The most important item is, again, you know, as I said, the Sustainable Communities Strategy and the Regional Transportation Plan. We have, I don't want to get too deep into that, but every metropolitan area in the United States is mandated by federal government if they want to get certain federal funds to have what we call MPO. Has anyone heard MPO? Metropolitan Planning Organizations. And they have, the MPOs have to prepare what we call Regional Transportation Plan. They have to update this every 3 years and send it to federal government. The federal government takes a look at it and say, okay, the state first and then that. And then we say, okay, you have a plan and you know what the heck you're doing and your regional transportation system is going to work. The first RTP after AB 32 was prepared by which county? If anyone knows this and follows the news, I give them the whole bag. Probably, because it's like recycling. You have to be in this business to know. County of San Diego. County of San Diego came and they prepared an RTP that they have been preparing for the last 40 years. They said, oh, okay, this is the plan. We're going to build this highway, and we're going to put this transit, and we're going to put this bus, and these are housing, and these are shopping centers, and these are parking. And I have an RTP. It was the first RTP in the state of California after AB 32. And guess what happened? California